The royal families of the Middle East are blessed with a lot of money, and in today's video, we shall be taking a look at Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who many call Sheikh Mansour. If you're wondering who he is, watch this video to find out more and how this great gentleman spends his billions. Hello folks and welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we'll show you Sheikh Mansour's various prized possessions on which he has spent lots of money. So let's get right into it. This Emirati politician is the Deputy Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and has quite a huge net worth. Before we get into his net worth, let's take a look at how he makes his big bucks. Sheikh Mansour is an entrepreneurial genius. His business portfolio is so diverse that you will be shocked to see the variety of investments in companies that belong to it. One prominent venture that he's a major part of is Mobadala Investment Company. He's the vice chairman of his company. Prior to this, he was the chairman of IPIC. But due to the 1MDB scandal, Mansour got caught right in the middle of it, but he moved past that and continued developing his portfolio. He has also been a member of the Supreme Petroleum Council and the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority or ADIA. In addition to this, the Sheikh has huge stakes in Virgin Galactic. He was said to have spent $280 million on it and currently has a 32% stake in the company. He has also invested in news channels and agencies such as Abu Dhabi Media Investment Corporation. A fun fact about ADMIC is that it owns The National, which is an English newspaper. Sports is another thing that the Sheikh is a big fan of. The royal family of Abu Dhabi and Dubai have quite a few of their members who are equestrians and big fans of horses. Sheikh Mansour happens to be a similar fanatic, and he also happens to be an accomplished horse rider. He has participated in quite a few competitors and has won quite a few awards. Horse racing and breeding is not a cheap affair, and Mansour spends quite a lump sum of his money on this. In fact, he also supports the Zayed International Half Marathon, an annual Arabian horse race that takes place in Abu Dhabi. As for the other sports that he invests his money and time on, he owns Al Jazeera Club, a club that deals with a diverse set of sports including volleyball, basketball, handball, and football. Now, one of the best and biggest deals that this Sheikh has on his portfolio is his deal with Manchester City. Manchester City was owned by Thaksin Shinawatra, and Sheikh Mansour bought it from him. To top this all off, Mansour also owns City Football Group, which basically is made up of Mumbai City FC, Melbourne City FC, Manchester City FC, New York City FC, and many others. When you're a billionaire, buying teams is just simple as buying groceries. Mansour had to shell out £210 million to get his hands on Manchester City, and even after buying it, he made it a point to get some of the best players on board the team. After having invested in so many businesses, the Sheikh really does know what a smart investment is and what isn't. So he got Gareth Barry on board the team for £12 million from Aston Villa. While doing so, he sold his Barclays stakes and made a $1.4 billion profit from it. Now let's just take a step back from all of his entrepreneurial ventures and take a look at some assets that he spent for his own personal pleasure. And when one mentions expensive assets owned by royals, the first thing that comes up in our minds are yachts. Yes, Sheikh Mansour owns quite a magnificent yacht that's called the Topaz. This yacht is multi-floored and has quite a few amenities on board. The jacuzzi and a cinema are just a few other features of this yacht. The yacht comes with 8 floors and has 2 helipads on it. The super yacht comes with a length of 482 feet and was built by the famous German company Lürssen Yachts. Tim Haywood was the mastermind behind the creation of this super yacht. It currently is the 5th largest super yacht on Earth and cost Mansour a whopping £400 million to get his hands on it. When Mansour sees a business opportunity, he doesn't miss out on taking it. Leo DiCaprio wanted to host a party right before the 2014 World Cup kickoff, and guess where he decided to host his party? On the Topaz. Sheikh Mansour had loaned his super yacht to DiCaprio and partied hard on that piece of floating beauty. It was also noted that Mansour had docked the Topaz in Turkey, where he had made a pit stop to refuel his prized possession. Now, since we're on the topic of how Sheikh Mansour spends his billions, well, on this pit stop, he was said to have spent £380,000 to fill up the 730,000-liter tank. And guess how much time it took to fill it up? 5 long hours. Now, since we have mentioned his yacht, let's take a look at his cars. The car collection that Sheikh Mansour has is immaculate. In this collection, he has a £350,000 Mercedes SLR McLaren, an £840,000 Lamborghini Reventon, £3 million Porsche 911 GT1, and a £2.5 million Ferrari Enzo. Mansour also happens to be a big fan of the Bugatti Veyron, and this fascination of his led him to purchase 5 of these vehicles. His car collection is clearly worth millions. I think by now you must be aware that if Mansour likes something, he invests big bucks in it. So, Mansour owns a 5% stake in Ferrari, and the reason why this came to be was because he wanted to bring Formula One to the UAE. And that is exactly how the success of the Grand Prix at Abu Dhabi came to be. To further add to this, Mansour has a 9.1% stake in Daimler AG. Sheikh Mansour is royalty, and how he can be royalty without having his own palace. Due to him being royalty, being a part of various events and occasions from dignitaries and political leaders is something that he's often found doing. He usually hosts these guests at his residence, which is the Emirates Palace. He also happens to have a £42 million, 20,000-acre Spanish villa in southwest Spain. Mansour loves his privacy, and this property in Valencia de las Torres is quite cut off from the rest of the city. The Los Quintos de San Martin is the name of the property, is quite exquisite to look at. The Emirates Palace that we spoke about earlier is a £2.2 million 7-star hotel that comes with 394 rooms, which include 92 suites and 22 residential suites. Gold and marble accents are found in the interiors of this palace. Sheikh Mansour is the proud owner of a penthouse located on the top of this palace. A fun fact about this palace is that a part of the movie Fast and Furious 7 was filmed here. So the man has his own fleet of cars, his own yacht, a pretty cool villa, a penthouse, and investments in more than 50 companies all across the world. Even after having so much money in his grasp, he loves to keep some of his dealings and personal life under wraps. So now how much is Sheikh Mansour really worth? Well, the man is worth a whopping £17 billion as of now, and it's bound to grow even further in time. But want to hear something more amazing? Sheikh Mansour can actually get much richer, and no, it wouldn't be through his investments. Well, you must be wondering how that could be possible. Sheikh Mansour belongs to the Al Nahyan family, and this family is worth billions too. If we are to be precise, they're said to be worth £560 billion. So if Sheikh Mansour was to inherit even a part of this massive wealth, his net worth would triple itself or probably more. He has 5 brothers, so of course, the wealth would have to be shared amongst them equally. But such a scenario unraveling anytime soon is not exactly possible, so only time will tell how much he would be inheriting. But Mansour knows how to invest, and many even look up to him as a role model. And with Manchester City having quite a bright future, the amount of millions and probably billions of dollars that he could rack up are plenty. We mentioned a lot of assets that Sheikh Mansour owns, but if we did miss out on anything, do let us know in the comment section below. Sheikh Mansour is not just a great political head, but also a great entrepreneur who really knows where to put in the big bucks. If you ever need the motivation to tread on a similar path, he's one of the best people out there to look up to.